Hello, this is Horror Studio 1, and this is my unedited podcast. Hello, this is Horror Studio 1, again coming to you with the unedited podcast. Well, I've received a lot of positive feedback from people who have watched my first unedited podcast, and you guys, you guys seem to really like it, and I really want to thank all of you for watching, commenting, subscribing, liking, and all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm actually kind of pissed off because I actually just recorded an episode, which was supposed to be episode number 2 of the unedited podcast, but I accidentally deleted it. I usually use GarageBand to edit my videos, and I don't know, this never happened before. I've done like 60 videos, and not once have I accidentally deleted a clip. All right. And friggin', it's all strung together because I didn't cut any of it or edit it. So I accidentally pressed delete. It's going to delete the whole freaking thing, and just deleted my whole freaking thing. And it was about the deep web too. So you guys love that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting. And I was really passionate about it because I was like explaining why I uploaded deep web videos, and then I got flagged and all that kind of stuff, and it was really passionate, and I was kind of angry, and it was kind of like blah, 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 but it was a really good one. But anyways, that's fine. I didn't want to do like a mimic of that, because all my emotions of that are already into that deleted audio file, which doesn't exist anymore. So only thing I can do is record a new one, and I guess I'll talk about that next time when my emotions are back again, and I'm like, I'm going to record that same video I did last time, but with a new spin on it, kind of thing. So this episode is not going to be about the deep web, as you can see in the title. Is going to be about my backpacking trip to China, which I did 5 years ago. Yep, 5 years ago. There was a summer where where I went to, I dropped all my stuff. There was a summer where I went to China for a backpacking trip, and I will tell you a bit about my trip, and actually kind of like the paranormal things I experienced there. Again, even though I narrate these kinds of videos, I have to be honest, I'm not someone who is very, dark or very prone to experience the paranormal kind of thing. I don't know if you guys can tell by the way I talk, but I'm generally a pretty happy person. So that kind of stuff, I'm interested in it, but it's never really bothered me, or it's never really affected me negatively, but I do find that interesting. I find all the unusual things in the world very interesting, and thus I made this channel to share that with you guys. So anyways, when I went backpacking in China in 2010, I was really young, but also I wasn't there to experience anything paranormal. Like I just went because I had a cousin who was going there as well, and he wanted to go to the Shaolin Temple. I kid you not, this guy's like a martial artist. All right, he's like Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z. He's not like, I don't know why I use Yamcha. He's like passionate about his martial arts and stuff. And I don't really know martial arts. So, I really had no reason of going, but it's just, I was like, hey, can I tag along or whatnot? And we went on this trip to China. It was a backpacking trip. It lasted for 21 days. And we actually didn't even take a plane. We just basically had to fly to Asia, but then we basically took a bus and trains and planes, trains, and automobiles, and just the trains and automobiles to the final destination of the Shaolin Temple, where the greatest martial artists in the world throughout history are supposed to train and stuff. And, as a martial arts buff, as my cousin was, he wanted to check it out, and I was with him. And, but it really wasn't the Shaolin Temple that really we experienced paranormal activities. Now, I have to say this. The reason why I'm telling this, and I guess the reason why I told the last paranormal experience, which is in my unedited podcast number 1, is because I didn't experience by myself. See, if I experience by myself, I can, okay, it's probably just my imagination, or, you kind of just you in some way you do lie to yourself because you don't want that to happen to you, right? So, but both of the times where I have reportedly experienced this kind of thing was with someone else. Last time it was with my two friends. This time it was with my cousin. So there's evidence of another person who has experienced this beside myself. Okay, so on my trip to China, we passed through a lot of places in China before reaching our final destination. One of the places we did go to was called the Wutaishan, which is basically the Buddhist province or the Buddhist city. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I have no freaking idea on this. I'm really terrible at everything in life. Even in YouTube, you guys say I talk really fast all the time, so whatever. Yeah, and it's basically like the Buddhist province or whatever, the city, the main Buddhist center of China. So it's really interesting. The place is it's supposed to be above ground level. Like when you go to the place, everything else in China is let's say on ground level, but this is actually on a mountain. So you actually feel colder up there, and it's like, wow, this is actually a mountain, but it feels like just like a province basically. It's like any other province, but it's actually a lot colder, and you're up high on a mountain and you're closer to the sky or whatnot. I'm not even sure, maybe that's why they chose it to be the most religious part of China. It was a really religious place, a lot of temples, a lot of Buddhist temples, and it was really interesting for me because I've never really experienced that type of culture before, and just to see, I've lived in North America all my life, and yeah, you see churches, but it's like a whole city of churches, like a whole city of temples, and everywhere we go, there would be kind of the Buddhist music playing, like I don't know how to do it, but it's like that kind of music playing everywhere you go. Like even when you sleep, I think that's what they play as well. And we didn't really live in hotels at the time. I guess maybe we wanted to experience, the culture or whatnot. So we decided to live in a temple up on the mountain. And yeah, it was okay, but yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I just froze for a second. I kind of have a half story I wanted to tell, but it's kind of random. I guess I'll tell it anyways. It was just this one night when me and my cousin, we were late going back to the temple, and then it was really creepy because it was it was a thunderstorm, and then there was a lot of rain and thunder, and then we were it was 10 o'clock, but the thing was that temple, you got to be back. If you're going to live there, you got to be back by 8 or something, and then we had to basically walk up the mountain in the rain with the thunder in the dark with just one flashlight, and then we almost kind of got into a fight. I don't know why that, but then basically we went up. It was super creepy, and then I just heard a noise. I think it's just someone from downstairs, and then it was super creepy, and then we just basically went and we had to climb over the fence and whatnot and get in. But we were really freaked out. On the way up there, it was like a fucking forest. So I started seeing shadows and stuff behind me, and I was really freaked out. But I still had to hold this umbrella to keep rain from completely plowing us and stuff. And then I was freaking the shit out, and I was just shaking, and that was really scary. But it had really nothing to do with ghosts. It was just our nerves, I guess. But the story, yeah, it actually happened there as well. It was actually in a hotel room. It was the night before we went to the temple. We lived in a hotel room in that city. It was the first night we got there, and it was a really stingy hotel room. It was kind of like a cheap kind of bus tour kind of thing going. So it was really late at night, and they drove us to this place. We got there at 9 p.m. at night, and then they kind of forced us into that, I would call it a motel and not a hotel, because there was bugs everywhere. You go in and you just sit down, and there'd be bugs flying in your face as you eat your food and as you try to go to sleep. I'm not fucking kidding you. That is, yeah, man. And I'm just speculating that maybe the bus driver and the motel owner are buddies, probably, why else would he just drive us there at night? And we were kind of okay, if we don't live in this fucking hotel, we're gonna have to sleep in the trees, on top of the trees and the leaves. That's basically the situation. So we had to be forced to sleep in that hotel. And then we're there, and then I'm trying to take a shower. Okay, this is such a story. I'm trying to take a shower, and I'm really dirty, and it's really late at night, and I'm trying to take a shower, and I want to go to bed. And my cousins were basically sharing the same room because, we're poor kids. We're poor kids on a backpacking trip, like, you know what I mean? And then we were trying to get to sleep. So what I'm saying, I'm trying to get shower, and I'm trying to turn the water on, and I keep turning the water on, and I'm trying to get it to like a warm temperature so I can actually shower. But like, I turn it on, and it's boiling water. It's boiling water, like smoke. Kind of, if you put your hand there, your hand would, like, you would whoa, and then your hand would be red for like 20 minutes. That kind of boiling water. And I was just standing there looking at this thing for like 3-4 minutes. Because usually if you turn on the shower sometimes, it's going to be either really cold or really warm water, but you kind of adjust it, and eventually in like a span of 15 seconds, it would probably go to warm water. This shit was like minutes, and I was like, dude, what the frig is going on, right? And I told my cousin, I'm like, yo, can you go and complain to the manager? Like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, how is this possible? This whole place just has boiling water. And then I check the sink, and I try to like kind of get water from the sink. Again, just boiling water. And I'm fucking furious because it's late at night and I want to shower, and it's all just boiling water. So I told my cousin, I'm like, yo, dude, can you just go tell the manager, just, hey man, just tell him to come and whatever, check it out. He goes, and then the moment he leaves, the door just locks by itself. And I was in the bathroom, and I basically see him leave. He doesn't have a key, and the door just locks by itself. And I'm like, what's going on? And that moment, I felt a chill run down my spine. And I go over and I open the door, and I'm expecting something to be outside. Like, I don't know why. I just felt like there was something out there. And I looked both ways down the hallway. It was completely empty. There was no one there, but it felt like as if, you close the door and you just close it, and then someone just locks it. And it was locked. It felt like it was locked from the inside. And I was pretty freaked out. So I stood there looking at the door, and I was like, okay. And I waited for my cousin to come back with the hotel manager. And when we told him about the situation or whatnot, and then he went to turn it on, and I don't know what happened, but he eventually said it was okay. And then my cousin went to take a shower or something, and I was like, wow, you're amazing. How did you manage to take a shower? And he's like, no, it's cold water, or it's warm water. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's okay. Nothing's wrong with it. And then I think I eventually went again, and it was still boiling water. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that whole night when I tried to take a shower, every time I tried, it was boiling water, as if something didn't like me or didn't want me to take a shower. I think it was my cousin had to pour his water into a water bottle or something for me to take. It was really freaking frustrating, to be honest. So that really freaked us out. And then same trip, same situation, same place. The next night, we finally go up to this temple. And then it was the same night that we had actually went up in the thunderstorm, and we went upstairs to our room, and we got in. We kind of sneaked in. Okay, we were like super wet, super muddy, and then we kind of got into an argument, and we were both pretty pissed because we're young dudes or whatever, right? And anyways, we go in, and then we eventually go to sleep. Okay, this one, the water works. Okay, they have running water, although I think it was cold water. It wasn't just because of me. It was generally I guess they were monks, so I guess they don't really believe in, the luxury of, hot water showers. So it was really cold water, and yeah, that was fine. I didn't mind. It's healthier for you to take cold water showers anyways, I heard. So we did that, and then in the next morning, as we were leaving, my cousin actually comes to me, and he says, hey, I got something to tell you. And I was like, what's up, kind of thing, right? We were leaving the city, like we were never coming back. And he said, last night, while we were sleeping, and this is a really long story. Basically, my cousin, the story is, when my cousin was younger, there was one day when he was in his house. And then when he was in his house, he was walking down the stairs, and then he suddenly heard a gigantic roar in his ear. And he said it sounded like the roar of a beast, or the roar of a lion, or just some kind of gigantic creature. It was a horrible and just kind of a roar kind of thing. Okay, imagine a lion roaring or something. And then he said he didn't know where it came from. He was in the house all by himself. Nothing was turned on. He was just walking downstairs. This roar, really loud, right close to his ear, was heard. He never heard it again. And then he told me that night, after we had hiked up the mountain in the dark with the rain and the thunder, and we had climbed over, that night, I started making that roaring sound. I don't know how I did it. He basically said that I started making snoring sounds that reminded him that were actually identical to the sounds he heard many, many years ago in his house. And they were coming from me. I did not know about this. He did not tell me about this. I did not know that I snored. I don't fucking snore. I don't know. And then he said that he was so freaked, and he checked the time too. It was like 3:43. He remembered the time specifically because he got up, and then I think he prayed 3 times, or he bowed 3 times. And in Chinese custom, I guess that is a way of saying sorry. He bowed 3 times, and on the 3rd time he bowed, I stopped snoring. I stopped making that sound. And then he told me this the next morning as we were having breakfast, getting on the bus, about to leave. He actually told me, through the process of that, so he told me that that's basically what happened. And yeah, I mean, I have to be honest, man. I didn't know I snored. No, I have to be honest. That whole trip, though, was pretty messed up because I've never really had the sensation for this kind of stuff all my life. But that trip, that summer, actually, I think, I'm pretty sure that my first story in my first podcast, that story and this story happened within like 3 months of each other. It definitely did. It definitely happened within 3 months of each other. So I'm pretty sure that period of my life, some shit was going on. Like I didn't know about it. Like I know what was going on, but I'm pretty sure before that and after that, like now I tell ghost stories all the time on this channel, but nothing's ever really happened to me. I've never felt anything. Nothing like that has ever happened, but it's just, I feel maybe that period of my life, maybe it was because I told too many ghost stories with my friends, or just something was there. Like I think that whole trip, that whole period of my life, 2010, something was going on then. And I felt, that's why the trip and the stories and all that happened around that time. Yeah, that's all I wanted to share. I'm pretty freaked out right now as I sit here. I don't know why. It's always freakier to tell your own true stories, man. I'm not even kidding. Like when I read other people's, it's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy, but you're never really there until it's you, basically. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Sorry, this has been really long, a long podcast. I think it's longer than the last one, but yep. So thanks again for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking, commenting, all that stuff. I am very grateful for all you guys. Thank you for some people saying my voice is sexy and stuff. I mean, yeah, thanks, but I don't know how to reply to that. I'm just like, and I gave you like a thumbs up, but thanks for that. Thanks for the people that tell me my voice that I speak too fast. I'm really trying to work on that, and yeah, thanks a lot. This is Horror Studio 1, and this is the Unedited podcast number 2. And if you have any suggestions, comments, leave it in the comments below, and yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.